a sip of tea before I answer that.
Hi, I'm Emma Thompson and I'm about to spill all the tea on Audible's new original, Becoming Meg Dashwood. So, let's start by pouring some tea. See, I can do that without even looking at it. It's so natural to me. So here we are with a barely visible advert for Audible. Just doing that very slowly so we get that on camera. So first question, how would you describe this version of Meg in just 3 words? Reckless, roaring heroine. Meg is often overlooked in the original Sense and Sensibility. What does this story allow us to explore that the original Austen novel couldn't? First of all, she's not really present in the original book because she just isn't. It's not about her, and Austen wasn't very interested in her. This story explores all sorts of things that I don't think would have occurred necessarily to Austen, including feminism, female suffrage, being a lesbian. So yeah, I guess that's what it allows us to explore, everything that Jane Austen couldn't. How did it feel to reimagine a Regency-era world through a queer and feminist lens? There haven't been many stories about Regency-era lesbians. Obviously, it's because those stories haven't been told, haven't been written, because they had to be hidden, because it was not only outlawed but probably viewed as monstrous, unnatural, as all forms of other kinds of sexuality were viewed in that time. So we are taken on a real journey into the underbelly, certainly, of life, which Austen avoided always. She never went into the alleys and the hidden tributaries of life, because that was not her interest. She was very interested anyway in what was happening around her. I mean, her genius for observation is what makes her novel so extraordinary. Yeah, it's a really good question, actually. The relationship between sisters is central in Austen's work. That's true, of course, because her relationship with her own sister Cassandra was so intense and deep. How does that sisterhood evolve in this version? Well, it's very wonderful in this version, because what Rebecca Humphries has done is she's taken Margaret and given her the eyes of a young woman questioning everything. She's looking at her sisters and wondering why they do what they do, wondering why Marianne, having fallen in love with Willoughby, settles for Colonel Brandon, whom she doesn't love in the same way. She doesn't understand that. She thinks Elinor is deeply repressed and doesn't know how to access her feelings. And what are her feelings? She's got no idea. She loves them deeply and she loves her mother deeply, but she doesn't want to go down any of those routes. She's estranged, essentially, from the family by her own feelings, by her own desires, and by her need to rebel against the laws and the constraints that she sees as deforming. You know, that's something that you can tell stories about every day, is it not? So, how did the audio format shape your performance? Well, I didn't have to sit in makeup and hair from 5 a.m. in the morning every day, which was, let me tell you, bliss. If Jane Austen could hear this version of Meg's story, what do you think she'd say?
I might have to have a sip of tea before I answer that.
I think she'd probably ask for a stiff drink. I think she'd say, thank you for making her so much more interesting than she is in my book. So now you know a little bit more about Becoming Meg Dashwood. Go and listen to it, or I'll find you and hurt you. Available now. Only on Audible.